If you're running a 3D printer business in the UK, there's a 4-letter acronym that probably gives you nightmares: UKCA. You've likely spent hours scrolling through contradictory advice on Reddit, read tons of websites, and you've probably ended up more confused than when you started. The advice out there is a total mess. One person will tell you just to add "not a toy" in your product description, and the next will tell you to prepare for thousands of pounds in lab fees. And all you want to do is know, what do I actually have to do to run my business in the right way? Am I just one customer complaint away from trading standards shutting me down? For a long time, that fear was a huge barrier. It felt like running a small business legally was just too complicated. But as it turns out, the reality is much simpler once you understand the specific product categories in scope of the UKCA. Before we get into that, everything I cover in this video is based on government guidance and publicly available information. It's not legal advice, and for your specific situation, you should always check gov.uk or speak to a compliance specialist. Let's start with those scary letters, UKCA. It stands for UK Conformity Assessed, and it's a product mark for Great Britain that came into play after Brexit. It's that little logo on a product that declares that it meets all the necessary UK health, safety and environmental standards. The confusion in the 3D printing community has always come down to one fundamental question: does my product even need this mark in the first place? You'll find forum posts insisting every single printed product needs full conformity markings, and others say it's completely irrelevant to small sellers. Neither extreme is right, and that's where the fear comes from. It's worth noting that in 2024, the UK government confirmed it would indefinitely continue to recognise the EU CE marks for most regulated products. So if a product does need a conformity mark and it already has a CE compliance, you can keep selling in Great Britain without a separate UKCA mark. One important caveat to that is if you sell into Northern Ireland. In Northern Ireland, it follows different rules under the Windsor framework. CE marking specifically is what applies there. UKCA alone won't cover it. For the rest of the video, I'm going to focus on England, Scotland and Wales. But here is the critical details that everyone seems to miss. All of this only matters for products that fall into specific regulated categories in the first place. We're talking about the whole list of things: toys, electronics, machinery and personal protective equipment. For a 3D printing business, this could mean a children's toy, but it could also mean a custom product that you've printed that includes a wireless charger, for instance. This would fall under the electronic regulations. There is also a widespread myth I still see everywhere, that the government just gave up on UKCE markings entirely. That is absolutely not true, and believing in that could put your entire business at risk. So the most important question isn't, do I need a UKCA mark? The question you should be asking is, does my product even fall into a regulated category in the first place? And here's the thing, the part that should lift a massive weight off of your shoulders. For the vast majority of items that 3D print sellers create, the answer is probably no. But let's get into the specifics. Your decorative vase, your geometric planters, your headphone stands, your cable management clips, and your phone holders. Generally speaking, these kind of homewares and decorative items do not fall into one of the regulated categories that demand a conformity mark like UKCA or CE. Government guidance is clear that not all products need to carry a conformity mark. So, take a deep breath. For your functional and decorative prints, you're probably in the clear, but don't relax just yet, because we need to talk about the areas of our industry where the rules do apply. So, what are these regulated categories that a 3D print business might fall into? While things like electronics or even some types of machinery have clear rules, there is one category that is the biggest, most common and most misunderstood trap for sellers. It's a category tons of you are in, often completely unaware: toys. I know what you're thinking. I don't sell toys. I sell adult collectibles. I sell fidget items. I sell articulated figures for my desk. Here's the truth. Trading standards don't care what you call it. The legal definition of a toy under the Toy Safety Regulation 2011 is any product designed or intended, whether or not exclusively, for the use in play by children under the age of 14 years old. The key words here are intended and not exclusively. That articulated dragon, a 10-year-old would definitely see that as a toy. That cute axolotl fidget print, it has obvious play value. Just writing adult collectible or not for children in your Etsy listing gives absolutely zero legal protection if your product itself is appealing to children for play. If it looks like a toy and a child is likely to use it for play, then in the eyes of the law, it is a toy. And for toys, the rules are non-negotiable. There's absolutely no exception for being a small business or making things by hand. A toy placed on the market in Great Britain must comply with the safety regulations and must have a conformity mark, which for now can either be UKCA or CE. Okay, I get it, that probably sounds terrifying, but this is where we get clarity. If you've just realised you might be classed as a toy maker, there's a clear path forwards. It's not as expensive or as impossible as some of the myths might claim, but it does require you to be methodical. The process for toy compliance is very specific, and similar principles of creating a technical file and declaration of conformity apply to other regulated goods as well, like electronics and machinery. You need 3 key things in place. Firstly, your technical file. This isn't one document, but it's a collection of evidence that proves your toy is safe. It's your homework. You don't have to send it anywhere, but you must have it ready if the authorities like trading standards ask to see it. Your technical file needs to include things like business details, a description of your toy, the material that you use, and most importantly, your risk assessment and proof of safety compliance. This leads to the second trickiest part, proving safety. This is where the filament spool can be misleading. The conformity mark on the filament just shows the raw materials are compliant. It says nothing about the safety of the finished toy you print with it. The responsibility of that is all yours. The major chemical test for toys is called EN71-3. It tests for the migration of heavy metals and toxic elements, things like lead, cadmium and mercury, that could leach out of the toy material if a child puts it in their mouth. Getting a full lab test commissioned yourself would typically cost £300 to £800 per product, but there are more practical routes. Services like 3D Cert Hub UK. I'm not affiliated, I just came across them while researching. They sell EN71-3 certificates for specific filament brands and colours at around £24 each. They also have a technical file builder that helps you organise your compliance documentation in one place. That's a very different proposition to commissioning a full lab test yourself, so it's not a complete answer on its own, but it's solid evidence for your technical file that you've taken the material safety side seriously. Okay, so the third one. Once your technical file is in order, you create a declaration of conformity. This is a formal legal document where you, the manufacturer, declare that your product complies with the law. You sign it and you make it legally responsible. The regulations specify exactly what information this document must contain. Only after you have done all of that, the conformity assessment, the technical files and the declaration of conformity, can you legally put the UKCA or CE mark on your product or its packaging. But one thing to be aware of, until the end of 2027, you can put the mark on any accompanying label or document. But from 2028, it needs to be on the product or the packaging directly. Okay, so let's break this down to 3 things. Firstly, go through your product list and honestly ask the question, could a child under the age of 14 use this product for play? This single question tells you whether you need to go any further with the UKCA or CE. Secondly, get product liability insurance. If something goes wrong and you're not covered, that's the real risk to your business. Most small sellers skip this. Don't. Thirdly, if you confirmed that you're in the toy territory, you know the process. Technical file, safety evidence, declaration of conformity. Gov.uk has an official UKCE guidance pack. For the EA71-3 certificates and the technical file side specifically, 3D Cert Hub UK is built for exactly that situation. See the link in the description below. So let's just put this into plain English. Does your product fall into the regulated category? For most 3D print sellers, decorative prints, homewares, functional items, the answer is no. That's it. Just make safe products, make sure insurance is in place, and get on with running your business. But if the answer is yes, for many of us that will mean toys, You now know exactly what to do. Technical file, safety evidence, declaration of conformity. So what do you sell? Drop it in the comments on whether it's homeware, toys, functional prints, or whatever it is you sell. I'll do the best to answer whether UKCA applies to you or not. And if you want more no-nonsense guides to running a profitable and compliant 3D printing business, make sure you subscribe. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.